Welcome everyone, the Whiskey Cops are back. Today we're going to be comparing two very unique whiskeys, actually, I would say. Two very unique bourbons, more specifically. This one, the one I have here, is a 4 Grain Mashbill double single barrel. It's going to be a mix of two single barrels, the wheated barrel and a rye barrel. So that's this guy right here. Very curious to see how that's going to go. And then we also have to compare it to another Lux Row. We have that guy right there, which is also going to be very unique.
Yep, this one is finished in PX sherry casks. Otherwise, close-ish proof points and close-ish age statements, about 4 to 6 years.
And PX is Pedro Jimenez.
Yes.
In case you didn't know. But
more
now you know.
commonly known in Scotch than bourbon, but it's making its way into bourbon as well.
Yep. So I've had a Pedro Jimenez Scotch before.
Okay.
I've never had a bourbon, so I'm very curious about that one.
Yeah.
This one is honestly just a wild card. I bought it because it looked good, and I was curious about it, and so that's why I bought this one. It's just a wild card. So we're going to compare two things that are from Lux Row. We're going to decide which one's better.
Yep.
We're also going to decide if you should even invest in this one.
This one I got for $49.99. Do you remember what you paid for that one?
This one I think I paid about $60 for.
All right.
I want to say 60 or 70, I think is what I paid for this one.
We're in the same ballpark. We're in
Same
the same zip
ballpark,
code.
yep.
You know, $10 here and there, but by and large, if you can afford a $50 bottle of whiskey, you can probably afford a $60 bottle of whiskey.
Yep, that's true. Well, I don't even know where that one is more known to you at least. Let's just start with the unknown craziness.
So the unknown craziness. So if you're familiar with single barrel bourbons, right? So you take one barrel of bourbon and you dump it into bottles. There's no blending. There's no batching. What you get in that barrel is what you get.
That's what you get. Straightforward.
Sometimes people refer to it as single barrel roulette, right? It could be the best barrel ever. It could be a unique barrel that is worthy of being a limited edition, allocated product in and of itself. One could be bad.
Yep. You can. I mean, there's even been single barrels from Blanton's that have not been good. You know.
So there is that unpredictability. There is that element of I don't know what I'm going to get from a single barrel. But what Lux Row did, which is wild to me, is they doubled down on that. They have two different single barrels, right? So I'm not a math guy, but you could have one single barrel that is fantastic mixed with one single barrel that sucks. I don't want to say sucks because that's someone's life work, but isn't as good as you would hope.
Right.
Maybe that's a nicer, softer way of saying things.
Yeah, probably.
You could have two single barrels that blend together. They're both bangers that make something that's even greater than the sum of its parts. You have two single barrels that aren't great that are then going to produce offspring that is also not great. Like, you don't know what to expect. I don't know which way this is going to go.
I honestly couldn't even guess.
Yeah.
If it's going to be good or not.
A rye-heavy bourbon with a wheat-heavy bourbon, which you would think would land you somewhere in the middle, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So it's exciting. It's something that probably people are going to come across on shelves at a price that is a little bit more than maybe your typical purchase, but not crazy more. It's in that realm of temptation.
Yep.
Where it's like,
I mean, if you saw this thing $30-$40, it'd be just, oh yeah, whatever. You know, you can risk it.
Yeah.
You can risk it. But $70 is a risk if it tastes bad.
That's right.
And we don't even know. We haven't even, I took the plastic off just before we started this video. We haven't opened this thing yet.
Right.
So we're going to pop it open. And specifically this one here is a, oh goodness, I can't even see the proof. 115 proof, 57.5%. And what is the proof on the Pedro Jimenez?
This one is 112 proof. Just a little lower.
Just a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Should we start with the lower?
Typically, I think that's a good idea.
I think we should do it.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's start with the Pedro.
Let me serve you up here. So here comes the PX Sherry Cask. And I will say, just in my experiences, the ones that are readily available in terms of finished bourbons to have something that is 112 proof, it's a little higher than normal. I feel like oftentimes there'll be a younger whiskey that is sub 100 proof that's finished to give it something a little bit more interesting to maybe justify a little bit higher price. But this says, no, we're coming at 112 proof.
Yep.
Hear me roar. So let's see what we get.
And I mean, honestly, for a barrel pick, not crazy. What did I say, 115? That's actually almost even a little low, maybe for a barrel pick, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But anywhere from 110 to like 130 is gonna be your barrel picks.
So I'm getting some red fruit. All right. know specifically if I would die on a hill and say this is strawberry or this is cherry or this is raspberry. It's somewhere along the lines of that spectrum.
You can get the spices too.
Absolutely.
You can smell that hint of what's going to be brought in from those Pedro Jimenez casks or the PX casks. Like that's going to be that like very not bad spice.
Yeah.
Very refined spice. But you're going to get a little spiciness to it, some spice to it.
So I'll ask you this question, and I'll answer it too. If this was blind, obviously it's not. We know what we're drinking.
Yeah.
Do you think there's enough there, just on a quick whiff, to know that it was finished? Would you be able to tell, like, this has had an additional influence, additional barrel impact that is not native to bourbon?
I think, to answer that, I think I could not have told that. However, I think someone who is more experienced than me could tell that.
Okay.
I think if your job was to distill and taste bourbon, you would absolutely know.
Okay.
I think you could tell me a lot more.
Yep.
But for me, not that kind of level of experience, I would say I probably couldn't tell you.
And for me, I'm more or less with you. What I would say, though, is that it would not take me much to convince me that it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I was just
I could agree with that.
I think a natural bourbon could get to those flavors, but at the same time, with it only being 4 to 6 years old, I think that's where the finishing comes in, adds a little extra variety to it. Because remember, it's a $50 bottle, which is expensive for some people. Not trying to downplay that in the least bit. I would say as you develop your whiskey snobbery, or as you get more adjusted to,
Yes.
allocate more of your funds towards whiskey, $50 begins to be viewed as a less than expensive purchase.
Yep, that starts to become kind of your lower end.
Exactly. And if you're going to spend $50 something that is not cask strength, it's been watered down to an extent, but a high proofer with a little something additional that is different, hey, this is not a bad place to start.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. So on the nose, the red fruits again are there. I can't exactly say exactly what it is. Some baking spices, some vanilla. I'd say a baked sweetness, like
It's almost like a spiced. This might be crazy.
Give it to me.
Like a spiced strawberry rhubarb pie.
Perfect. Yes.
Something
rhubarb.
like that. Strawberry rhubarb. That's what I get. That's your combination of the red. I get kind of that.
This guy has burglarized my mind. He has absolutely kicked the door in and said, "This is what you're smelling. You're not smart enough to put words to it. That's why I'm here, friend."
Yep.
Yes. I really hope that extends to the palate.
I do too.
Let's drink
I
this.
love a good strawberry rhubarb.
So I would say 100%. Whiskey is as complicated as you make it. It smelt like strawberry rhubarb pie. It tastes like that, but with some additional cinnamon, brown sugar, additional spices. You could go turmeric, which is a little bit more going, I don't even want to say Middle Eastern Indian spice level. You could go cardamom. If you were to just sprinkle me on top of that strawberry rhubarb pie,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting.
I would say so. Like if you think of like a strawberry rhubarb pie, I think of like more sweet, less spices, right?
Yes.
When I think of a strawberry rhubarb pie, I think if you took
Naturally.
that and then you spiced it with some spice, like good spices,
Yeah.
but you spiced it a little bit more than I would want in my dessert.
Yes. Yes.
Were just enough where you're not. It's no longer. It's less about it being a dessert. It's like a dessert with spices.
I think that is spot on, honestly. And that again makes me think again about how the things we taste in our whiskey would not necessarily be welcome in the things we eat.
Correct.
But
Yep.
you carry that over into the whiskey world, and it's like, absolutely put some cinnamon sticks
Absolutely.
shredded over my rhubarb pie.
Absolutely.
I love
Yep.
that. I welcome that. Now, if you handed that to me on a plate and a fork and said, please eat this, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But in my whiskey, I mean, like, oh my gosh, for $50, this is 112 proof. I think you'd be proud to have this on your shelf.
Yep.
And it adds something that is a variety. Honestly, I can't think of any other whiskeys that I've had in 5 years where those are my tasting notes.
Yep.
So if I want to share something with a friend who's into whiskey that's a little bit different, especially if I present it to them blind and say, guess what this is, guess how much this costs, what are the things that are impacting the flavors the way that it is, this is a fun bottle.
Yeah.
It's a fun bottle.
If you were just starting your whiskey journey, I wouldn't recommend that bottle.
Yeah.
If you were just starting it. I think it's just...
Yeah, you wouldn't know which way. You'd have whiskey vertigo. You wouldn't know which way is up.
Yep. But if you have a bourbon collection, or you're already into whiskey, or you're looking for even a gift maybe to get someone who is into whiskey.
'Tis the season, baby.
'Tis the season. Then that's a really good bottle that's going to be something different than they have or something different than you have.
Yes.
For sure. And I have a Balvenie 18-year Pedro Jimenez finished Scotch. It doesn't taste like that. No. There's some crossover.
Yeah.
There's some crossover, but I actually like that better. Because
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know what it is with the Scotch specifically. I think the spices are a little too overpowering in the Scotch.
Okay.
But I don't think they're too overpowering in that.
I just got a little milk chocolate on that.
In that?
It came in at the end. That was my third
Interesting.
sip. I just got a little bit of milk chocolate.
Well, now I got to go in for more.
Yeah. And it rounded off all the things that I've tasted so far. Maybe another way of saying the same thing. Imagine like a pastry turnover that's filled with cherries and strawberries. And you sprinkled those spices that you sprinkled over the strawberry pie and then folded over the turnover and then baked it for a few minutes and it came out nice and warm and fluffy.
Yeah.
It's like that, but liquefied.
Liquefied. I like that.
Liquefied. That's impressive. To have that young a bourbon compete with 18-year-old Scotch, it just goes to show, one, bourbon is not Scotch.
It's not Scotch. It's completely different. Yeah.
And if you have a good distiller who knows what they're doing and they can play around with different finishings, with different whiskeys, you can get something that is not like the rest. And look, we'll be honest, the bourbon flavor wheel, it's narrow compared to Scotch. So this expands it.
Yeah.
Which I think is a welcomed addition to my shelf and anyone else's shelf who's a little bit more into whiskey. Again, if you're still working around the 90 proof, this is probably going to be a little bit too much. You won't know what you're tasting. You won't appreciate it.
Yep.
But hey, man, if you've been doing it for a bit and barrel proof whiskeys don't shake you, don't cross you over, add this one now.
Yep, I'd agree with that. And no disrespect to Balvenie's Pedro Jimenez. I want to also clarify. No. I am a big fan of Balvenie. They're one of my favorite Scotch distilleries. I have a lot of Balvenie on my shelf. My favorite Scotch is a Balvenie so far. I always say so far because you never know when you're going to find one that you like better.
So, fun thought experiment. How much would you pay for this? If you didn't know how much it was and someone just handed it to you and they'd be like, I'll sell you a bottle of this. It is this much amount of money. What would be a bridge too far? What would be the point where you're just like, yes, but no more?
So, I think the answer is different for me than what I would recommend for people.
Articulate that one.
Yeah, one's,
Break that one down.
Break that one down.
Yeah.
So I have over 100 bottles of bourbon.
Okay.
Probably I might have over 200, depending on how you look at it. It might be over 200. It might, if you count doubles, for sure.
Okay.
Because I have 7 bottles of
Eagle
Rare, and this, that, and the other thing. We talked about Eagle Rare last episode. All good stuff. But I would say for me, I would pay 120 out the door. Because it's unique. I don't have it in my collection. It would add to my collection. Yes, if I put that in there, it would be something new. It would be something different than everything else. That's why I would pay that. However, if you're not me, I would say in general, I would recommend 70 to 100 out the door. I would say that would be worthwhile for that. If you're not into bourbon at all, I would say just don't buy it. If you're not, if you're starting your bourbon journey, if you're not into bourbon at all, I don't know why you're here unless you're researching for a gift.
Right.
But if you're researching for a gift, that's a great gift to someone who loves bourbon.
Absolutely.
By the way.
Absolutely.
That's literally perfect. Absolutely perfect because it's not they don't have it. Right. Unless they have that exact bottle already in their collection, they don't have something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I would say about that.
Okay. I think that's fair. My thought was double, $100. So you said 120?
Yeah.
All right. So if you're in a tax-heavy state, we're right there,
Yep.
right? I would say $100 MSRP, and I would not be deterred by being in a tax-heavy state, which kind of puts us in the same
Yeah.
ballpark. At $50, goodness gracious,
Screaming deal.
yes. I would say because of its finishing. So for me, if I'm looking at a $50 bottle, I'm also looking for it to have some flexibility, some dexterity to also be in cocktails. I don't know if it could. I have some doubts whether this would be great in cocktails because it has so much uniqueness going on that you start adding bitter, you start adding sugar. It's like where you just muddle the waters so much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, darn it, for a neat pour
Yeah.
at $50, man, sign me up.
I've been doing an experiment too with cocktails. Not myself, because I don't have maybe sometime I'll learn how to do that. I probably should. My favorite cocktail is an old fashioned.
Me too.
It's classic. Classic bourbon cocktail.
Yes.
Or whiskey cocktail, depending on how you look at it. So when I've been anytime I travel or I'm out of town or something like that, and they have like a bottle of bourbon that maybe I have, but I would not be willing to risk some of mine to mix it.
Yeah.
I'll pay extra there to have them mix it. So for example, I had an old fashioned with Blanton's.
Yep.
Really good. Really good. Loved it. Really good. So I've been experimenting. However, I had an old fashioned with Eagle Rare. I love Eagle Rare. Didn't like it. Didn't think it was good in old fashioned.
Yeah.
And I had both of those at the same restaurant, so I know.
You controlled variables.
Controlled variables. But I would guess if you would put this in old fashioned, it would taste terrible.
I would think so too.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think you'd be wasting it. Yeah. But if I saw this on a shelf out of a restaurant, if for whatever reason they had this very specific bottle, I would absolutely order an old fashioned and try it.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it then. But that's what I'd say about that.
Okay.
It's just not. I don't think it'd be mixing well.
So
I think you're right about that.
So the PX Sherry is a win for both of us.
Yeah.
Now to the question mark. I mean,
what is this? What is even this?
I want to like it. We talk about variables. There's so many variables. There's a rye high bourbon in it with the complete polar opposite, which is
I'm not a rye guy.
I'm learning to love rye more. I'm digging more high rye bourbons. I still don't have a ton of ryes in my rotation at home.
Yeah.
But this one could be great. It could also be something that I tell you, hey, if you got a drain pour somewhere, let it flow. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, as someone who paid $70 for this bottle, I might cry if you tell me
that.
I might cry if I think that, but
that'll remain an inside thought.
Yeah, I mean, no. I want you to be honest. Be honest with the viewers.
Okay.
We'll tell you if you should use this for drain clean or you should add this to your collection. We'll tell you right now. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's pour this baby out.
Here we go. Here we go. This is also fresh crack. The bottle I've had for 3-4 months. So, not an apples to apples comparison in terms of amount of time that it has had oxygen in the bottle. So to the extent that you believe in that, take this with a grain of salt. But also, if this is awesome off the bat, man, okay.
I'm gonna have to cleanse my palate in between here.
That's a good idea.
I gotta be extra safe.
Yeah. I personally am a believer that the neck pour thing is real for some bottles. And the one thing that I find to be consistent is higher rye content in bourbons really benefit from airtime. And this is half a high rye bourbon, half not. So again, the confusion continues.
Talk about words are hard.
Words are hard, but we're going to get there.
Yep. Talk about what you mean by that.
So, Eagle Rare, for example, we just brought that out. Very, very low rye content. Fresh out the bottle. Neck pour. I was in love when I first had it. I had it very, very early on in my...
Neck pour is the word I was looking for.
Neck pour. Very, very early on in my whiskey journey. And straight out of the neck pour, I thought it was fantastic. I literally put it down, went back to where I found it, because I found it like 4 bottles deep on the shelf and bought a second one that same night. And then came back and finished my pour.
Wow.
Because it was just so good immediately.
You had to go get more.
Henry McKenna, 10-year bottle and bond. We might do a review of that one day. That's not today. It's a slightly higher rye content. It's known for being a higher rye bourbon. Not a crazy amount, but it is. And I remember I bought it in New York City, in Manhattan. I could not wait to get back to my hotel to pour it. I poured it. I tried it. I was instantly disappointed.
Wow.
It was so tightly wound. I could hardly get anything off the nose. It was very toothpastey, minty flavored. I was not a fan. I was like, I just wasted $70. At that time, my whiskey journey, that was a lot for me to purchase. I was like, that was a swing and a miss. I'd taken where the L on that one.
Yep.
But guess what? A year later, I'm drinking it because, when you have a lot of bottles, you rotate through.
You rotate through them. Yep.
A year later, it is sufficiently opened up. It had oxidized, air in the bottle, and it was amazing.
Interesting.
It was amazing. It was a completely different bottle of whiskey.
Do you think that any of that had to do with you had more appreciation for bourbon, or do you think it was mostly because it changed the flavor of it?
I can't ignore the fact that possibly played into it. I would say with my Michter's barrel strength, right? Especially with Four Roses, that has 36% rye in a lot of their mash bills, especially their standard shelf offerings. I have found that the more I let it breathe, the more I let it open up, the more I like it. So could there both be going on at the same time?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll admit, possibly, sure. So yes, this is slightly anecdotal. Breaking news, I'm a cop, not a scientist.
Yeah.
But I believe that
there's a reason we do police work. We're going to work for the government. We'd be scientists if we could.
That's right, baby. I personally believe, and hey, comment if you disagree. I'd like to know your thoughts too. I feel that things that have a higher percentage of rye, it's a little bit sharper. It cuts across the tongue a little bit more. Air helps smooth that out.
Yeah.
Higher rye content, the more the air in the bottle is going to do good for it. That's my thought. Sticking to it.
That's
Sticking
good.
to it. All right, let's see what we got. Sweet corn.
There's far more sweetness than I thought was going to be in that.
Yeah. Lemon meringue comes to mind. Lemon meringue.
I hate lemon meringue.
But again,
but
in whiskey,
I would drink it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound, which is so weird to say. If you offered me a lemon meringue pie and a whiskey that was strongly lemon meringue flavored, I would take the whiskey over the pie, and
honey?
I'd probably be happy.
So I've had a honey hibiscus tea, and it smells a little bit like that taste. Some floralness from the hibiscus flower, some honey. I am not mad the way that smells.
No, honestly, the way it smells, I was scared.
Yes.
Maybe not, scared is probably not the right word. I was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous to smell it. I was like, how is this going to smell?
Yeah.
It smells far better than I thought it would smell.
Yes.
And now I'm actually excited to taste it, whereas before I was nervous to do all of it.
Yeah. I think I am guilty of what I've previously poo-pooed upon, which is you can overcomplicate whiskey, and I think I did that. This smells good.
This smells good. Yeah.
I'm ready. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Okay. I would never have guessed that this had high rye content bourbon mixed in. I wouldn't. The honey plays through. I get a little bit of watermelon, but like a fake watermelon. Like a Sour Patch Kids watermelon type flavor, which I really, really like. And I think that might be the wheat component coming through.
I think more of a Jolly Rancher watermelon.
That's fair. Soft versus hard candy.
Yep.
I'm there with you.
I think if I let some of that melt in my mouth, I feel like that's some of the flavor that's in there. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
The sweetness really popped in that second sip.
I always too, and just I know I've said this in videos before, but in case it's your first video watching, anytime when I'm trying something that's like closer to like a barrel proof, basically anything that I try that's above, I would say above 90.
Yeah.
Definitely above 100. What I do to make sure the alcohol is not the primary like kick in the face, I take a small sip and I let that kind of, my mouth kind of gets accumulated to that alcohol, gets accustomed to it.
Great practice.
And then I take a larger sip to actually get the flavor.
Yes.
That's what I do. Because then my mouth's not shocked. I
Right.
get the flavor. It's boom. I don't judge any bourbon on the first sip. You have to do more than one sip. You can't just taste it and be like, that's bad, or I don't like that. You have to go further.
There is, to build upon the watermelon, Jolly Rancher, Sour Patch Kid flavor to it, there's just a general candy sweetness to this that I am really, really liking. If you've ever like had a bag of Skittles and you've let it sit in the sun and all the different flavors
They merge into one.
all
They all
merge
melt
into
together.
one.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
that candy sweetness is in this glass.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I love it. I love it. I think for, man, you said you paid 60 for this?
60 or 70, yeah. I think I would do it again.
I'd even propose to you this much. So, they are close in proof. 115, 112.
Yep.
All right, we're splitting hairs here. What I would say, though, is this drink's lower proof than you.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
If you had told me if you had blind tasted Testy,
Yeah.
I would say that this one was a lower proof than this one.
I would too.
But it's the opposite.
I would say this one drinks 2 proof, 112. If you told me this one was 115, I'd say for sure. For
Yep,
sure.
I believe you.
If you told me this was 100 to 103, I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So that's impressive to me. I like that. I appreciate that. You can tell that Lux Row is got people behind the wheel that know what they're doing.
Yep. Did we know? So there's 2 barrels in here.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know? I know we did a little bit of research before this. Do we know what percentage they did each barrel?
I believe, from what I read, it was 50-50, that they had 2 single barrels that they just blended together. Now, when I say it like that, you think they did it willy-nilly. Clearly, that's not the case.
No, I mean, it's, if I think of a wheated, I don't like rye.
Yeah.
I that's a strong, I shouldn't say I don't like rye.
Mm-hmm.
I don't prefer rye. I prefer non-rye. So the fact that that's half, that's pretty impressive to me, that it tastes as good as it does.
Yeah,
And I mean, if I think of like weeded stuff, I really like weeded stuff. I'm trying to reach back here.
I do too.
Can you grab that weeded there, the
Oh.
Heaven Hill?
This one.
This one's a classic.
This
one's a really good. If you ever get this one, by the way,
Ooh,
that's okay. You're shaking our whiskey shelf. That's okay.
fault.
It's all good. If you ever get the chance to buy this, Heaven Hill, grain to glass, the Kentucky Straight Wheated Bourbon, very good. It's usually, I think MSRP is about $90. It's worth $90. But anyhow, we're not reviewing that, so I'm not going to go any further on that. But yeah, so I think of that. That's my favorite wheated that I've had. And also, if we compare the two together, very similar.
Yeah.
I actually think the Pedro Hyman is a touch darker.
Yeah. I'm gonna show my own ignorance when it comes to wine. Sherry, I believe, is a red, correct?
Sherry?
Yeah. Red wine?
Yes. Should
That
be.
makes sense. It's a little darker.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, that's a 2 + 2 = 4 kind of thinking on my part.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's red. Red is a darker color. Yeah, it's darker. Why not?
I'm a big fan of port too, like
Yeah.
a port wine, a good port.
Mhm.
It's like anything that's port cast, which I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, but anything that's port cast finish, I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
give me that, because I love a good port. And if you get a good one that, and you've had my favorite Scotch,
Yes.
Scotch so far, I always say so far because you never know when you're going to discover a better one.
Yep.
Is a Belveni 21-year port cast finished.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I've
You've tried it. It's absolutely
so
fantastic.
good.
It's just that sweetness that comes off the port barrels at the end.
Yes.
21-year age. It's so refined. It's beautiful. But
What I would say about this particular review, if you tuned in and you listened this far, you're looking for something that is not Wild Turkey 101. It's not Wild Turkey Rare Breed, right? We're not looking at Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. There's something off the beaten path. You're looking to round out a collection.
Yeah.
You said it before, the PX Sherry version of this. Not for someone that's first starting.
No.
Normally you're going to go with the things that are a little higher value. The larger distilleries produce at a higher level. That means they can sell at higher discounts. Typically you get it for what we perceive as a consumer as a positive value bourbon, right? This I also think is positive value bourbon, but Lux Row, if we were to count off our 5 favorite distilleries and we asked 10 different bourbon people what their 5 favorite distilleries are, how many people are saying Lux Row? How many people are saying Lux Row?
Not a lot, probably.
Not a lot, right? You got your Old Foresters, you got your Wild Turkey, you got your Heaven Hill, you got your Four Roses, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
I hope what we can communicate here is don't sleep on Lux Row.
Yep.
And these are not, for the most part, going to break your bourbon budget if you have begun to open your wallet a little bit more. And if you're like, shoot, I only budget $50 a month, give or take, and it's the end of the month, you don't buy anything, and these are shelf-stable products more or less. I can walk into liquor stores and they're just sitting there.
Yep.
This is a great addition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's... I honestly think for this one specifically, too, the PX finish, I think that one, I think that gains value or gains amount that I would pay for it the bigger my bourbon collection gets.
Yeah.
Because it's something so unique that I'm only going to get from that.
Yes.
So if you're new to bourbon, it's not worth as much to you.
Yep.
But if you are into bourbon and you have a lot of bottles and you've been collecting for a while, that's worth more to you. Yeah. Just to be honest. And which is very unique that Lux Row has accomplished that with that bottle.
Absolutely. And the next question I would pose, I don't know the answer to. The Google machine would probably provide a very nice answer with a bow on it. What are PX sherry finished bourbons going for, typically, that are over 100 time proof? I have a feeling it's more than 50
It's more than that, probably, yep.
Yeah, so
I can tell you the Balvenie, which I know is a Scotch, so not comparable. We're comparing apples and oranges here, but another PX finish, the Balvenie 18-year, also an 18-year, not comparable. That one's going to be MSRP. That one's going to be 150 to 200 probably, in the U.S. If you buy it in Scotland, you're lucky. That's good. That's where you should buy. If you're ever in Scotland, take back as much Scotch as you're legally allowed to take back.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy with these. I
am
hope
too.
You don't skip over them. There's something that you could add on to your whiskey shopping list and not give up a pound of flesh in order to do so. And by golly, for what you're getting and the price you're paying, please buy these.
Yeah,
they're not paying us. This is not sponsored by Lux Row. You saw our trepidation with the double grain barrel or the double single barrel with the 4 grain, and look, we are very happy. Honestly, this instills so much faith in Lux Row that if you put anything Lux Row in front of me, I'd be inclined to buy it.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yep.
And so, all right, so now the big question.
Yeah.
We just tried 2.
Yep.
If you had to choose one, which one would you choose?
It would be the sherry finish for sure. Again, great point made. That it depends on where you're at in your bourbon journey. I think for me, I'm now looking for things that are unique, that are special. I love my barrel picks because they're oftentimes one-offs. This fits that bill in terms of something that is unique and special.
Get out of here, Cat. Get out.
We have a little unexpected guest. That's okay, because guess what? We live real life here. I would say that just simply and probably exclusively the tiebreaker goes to it because it represents something in my bourbon collection that isn't highly represented. Whereas this is another great bourbon with a great story behind it. But if you were to give it to me blind, I wouldn't be able to tell all the uniquenesses of it. Whereas this, if you were to elaborate to me what the story of it is, I would be like, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense.
I agree. I agree 100%. So this definitely worth it. The PX Cask finish, absolutely. However, I would say that's where I'm at now. If I was sooner on my bourbon journey, I would choose this.
Makes a lot. I think that's fair.
That's fair. If I had these 2 on a shelf 3 years ago when I was starting my bourbon journey, I would choose the Lux Row. That was and this one also too. I will also say this one was good. If Lux Row continues to do this with different ones, you might get one that's bad. It's always a possibility. I don't think, based on what we've tried here, I think Lux Row is better than that. I think that you will get something that is good. Yep. It'll taste different if it's a different, batch or blend than that.
Right.
But I think that you will enjoy what you get from Lux Row. And yeah, I mean, this for me, today, right now, is the first time I've tried Lux Row. And again, I bought this because I saw it. There was not very many on the shelf. It looked really good. It looked really unique.
Yep.
And so I thought it was worth the risk, and I'm glad I took that risk.
100%. Purchases that I do not regret.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else? I think we've covered it.
Yep. Go buy yourself some Lux Row.
Yep, Lux Row is really great. Absolutely, 100%. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the channel. We got more chaos coming for you guys, more whiskey reviews and all sorts of stuff here on the channel. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. But yeah, let us know down in the comments. Have you guys tried any other Lux Row products that we need to try? Let us know. What should we be keeping an eye out for? Have you guys tried these? You disagree with us? You think we're right? Let us know.
Yeah.
We want to know. It's all about learning together. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, thank you guys for coming and watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.